Back to that Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.
All right, my next guest has won an Academy Award. He has walked a red carpet. He has held a championship trophy above him, and now he's jumped into the world of podcasting. Exactly why he's done all of that is the mission of the next few minutes here at That Kevin Show. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Coach Bill Courtney.
Thank you
Hello,
so much
Bill.
for having me. Hey, I'm great. How are you?
We're glad to have you. So a buddy of mine that works in the podcast industry, which is, ever ballooning all the time. There's like billions and billions of podcasts out there. Calls me up 2 weeks ago and says, Kev, you got to talk to this guy. What he's doing by way of this new spoken word audio stuff is really, really powerful. And he sent me a link to a couple of your episodes, and I was really pleased to get them. I remember when the podcast Our American Stories kind of came out, and kind of the grassroots hometown feel it tried to capture, and telling some really powerful stuff. I know that they've kind of started largely focusing on historical and other types of figures now. So I was really, really pleased to see an army of normal folks coming along. And Coach, you are the engine that can with this. You've only been doing it a couple of months. Do you like podcasting?
Yeah, I mean, do I like podcasting? As you would know, there's a lot of work that goes behind getting guests and studying them and trying to be relative. That part, I guess, is more for the producers than me. What I've enjoyed and continue to enjoy is traveling across the country, meeting these fantastic, amazing, normal human beings who are doing incredible things in their corners of the world that we never hear about, because Fox and CNN and the big national news, they're really not incented to continue their power and money by telling stories of just normal people. And so we don't get these stories. And so I'm getting to meet these folks face to face. And that part is phenomenal. And frankly, it's inspiring.
I mean, if you think about where America was as the pioneers rolled across the plains until they eventually reached the West Coast, we were a nation that was built on narrative and tradition and storytelling, that I think on some level, the fancier the technology got, the worse we got at it. And I'm kind of excited to see that there are storytellers that are coming back to kind of the essence of what this is. It seems to me the strength of your show is that there are powerful stories in everyday life.
I believe with everything I am that we can be a forward-thinking, evolving society without abandoning the core principles that guided us here in the first place. My book, Against the Grain, is those tenets and fundamentals of character, commitment, integrity, the dignity of hard work, the old school stuff, but exploring them in our new culture and our evolving society, and how they can coexist is interesting, but I think also uplifting. And it can also remind us that, ultimately we're human beings, and we need to start having conversations about race and creed and politics and school of thought without fear of being canceled or fear of societal preconceived notions saying, oh, you vote this way, so you must be this kind of person. We need to start having these conversations, but do it in a civil, non-threatening way, to recapture what once defined us, which was, I may disagree with what you're saying, but I'll defend with my life your right to say it.
Yeah.
We're getting away from that, and we do that at our own peril. And I have enjoyed the platform that I've been given as a result of Undefeated to have those conversations in my book, to have those conversations in speeches, and now to have a greater conversation about that with an army of normal folks.
And I'll just warn you ahead of time, it'll get in your blood and you'll be addicted to it. You won't be able to quit it after a while. We're speaking with Coach Bill Courtney, who just made reference to his book and the movie Undefeated that won the Academy Award in 2012. But Coach, take us back before that. Who is Bill Courtney? Where did you come from? And how did you arrive at the reality that these conversations were even something that we needed to have?
I grew up in Memphis. My father left home when I was 4. He died this year, and somebody gave me a phone call and let me know. No relationship with him. Mom was married and divorced 5 times. My 4th daddy shot at me down a hallway. I had to dive out a window to save myself. I never had a front yard. I grew up in apartments. My mom loved me. I love my mom, but the way I came up was not, let's say, beaver cleaver organic at all. And I went off to college, and, the people who, I don't know where I'd be without my coaches. I don't know where I'd been without the people who invested in my life. And when you're a young, strapping 17, 16-year-old, and no man you've ever met has stayed around in your life, you do, despite the outward bravado, you do start to have insecurities and wonder, what is so wrong with me that I'm so valueless that someone doesn't want to invest their time and effort in me? And so I came up with this yearning to prove myself valuable. And I got married to a beautiful woman, had 4 children that I'm still married to and my family. And I started coaching football because I thought that was my way of giving back, because the very coaches invested in me, I wanted to invest in. And
sure.
So as I built my business and continued to coach football, I happened to start coaching in an inner city team. They had won 4 games in 10 years, and they had 19 kids on a varsity football team. They were terrible. And over the course of 7 years, we went from that to a team that was one of the best teams in the state, 18-2 our last 2 years, 75 kids on the team. And in a very impoverished area of North Memphis, where an 18-year-old male by his 21st birthday is 3 times more likely to be dead or incarcerated than he is to have a job or be in college. And along come these goofy guys from Hollywood that said, we want to make a movie about all this. And we think, whatever, I'm from Memphis. I'm not from Hollywood. I'm a football coach and own a lumber company. Who's going to make a movie about that? We think we might see it. If it ever got made, we might see it on channel 422 one Wednesday at 2 a.m. And 2 years later, we're walking down the red carpet at the Academy Awards and won. And all of a sudden, this thing that I thought might be 20 seconds of fame kind of catapulted me to be able to have a platform to have the conversations about stuff that matters, just like what I said earlier. And so where I come from, I'm a kid from a broken home in Memphis who didn't have much and was blessed to find my wife and build a family, and got lucky and built a really nice business, continue to coach football because that's where my passion was. And through an odd set of extraordinary circumstances, I'm talking to guys like you.
Well, now you are the host of An Army of Normal Folks, the podcast. Friends, go subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. We're coming right back with Coach Bill Courtney here on That Kevin Show. Don't go away.
Ready or not, we'll be right back. That Kevin.